ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Remote STEM class with Mr. Dowd. So today, I just want to go through a little bit more on Tinkercad and go a little bit more in-depthly on not Screencastify, my bad, on the Starry Night project we'll be doing. So from here, from Google, just type in Tinkercad, right? Up here where it says tinkercad.com. And when you log in, as long as you don't log out, it'll always bring you back to your dashboard. Okay, so dashboard, if you see up there on the top of the tab, is where you always want to start from. Okay, and if for some reason you're on like a different tab or whatever, if you always click the Tinkercad logo, it'll always bring you back to your dashboard. Okay, so let's just go into it. Starry Night here. Click on it. Well, obviously you won't have one. This is my project. You can press Tinker this. So I'm going to give it a second to load because I did a lot with this. So you see how there's a green, well, this is in the way, but there's a green work bar that pops up down there. All right, so this is my Starry Night house that I made. Doesn't exactly have to be a house, but a house is definitely wanted. But what kind of vibes do you get from this? I try to make it a little bit more spooky, because when I did my Starry Night character with his whole backstory and whatnot, he lived in a spooky town. So I try to get it all dark colored. Okay. So everything in here will be what you learned from the starters. Now, if you ask me, hey, Mr. Dowd, where do you find those starters again? I didn't do that project. Well, I'm going to say, well, you should have done the starters first, but I'll re-show you. So if you click on the dashboard button, it'll bring you back to the main screen. Okay. Go up to here where it says Learn. And then, so those are the first four. You can say See All Starters. Okay, and these are all 7 of them. So you just click on them, and it'll bring you up to the lesson. And right here is the lesson itself. It'll tell you exactly how to do it. And then there's a total amount of pages. But anyways, back to my Starry Night guy. Or Starry Night house, I should say. So remember this little green bar, you can't see it because of this in the way, but that means it's working, it's downloading. So anyways, this is back to my house here. As you can see, I put a clock. Try to think of like a clock tower. And then I want to put a poll out. Who here knows who this guy right here is? Who's that? I'll give you a hint. It's not baby blank. It's adult version from the prequels. All right. And then I put a smiley face in the back because why not? But everything in here you should know how to do from the starters and or that second lesson I did. Okay. If you need any help, don't hesitate to ask. I love doing more on Tinkercad. This is one of my favorite programs we use. Tomorrow I'm going to go ahead and show you how to get to cool things like that, because obviously I didn't spend 10 hours building that because I don't have that kind of time. But anyways, that'll be for tomorrow, guys. All right, thank you. Let me know if you need any help.
Today we're going to continue looking at the artwork of Pablo Picasso. So I asked you guys to find an object and try to draw that object from multiple angles and different views. I have my water bottle here. You didn't have to make a water bottle. It could have been any object of your choice. And then I was talking to you a little bit about adding some cross-hatching, which is just a form of creating some shading in your artwork. Today we're going to continue with adding shading and some color. So if you take a look at this work by Pablo Picasso, you can see it's in the Cubist style. You may be able to see that there's an instrument there, a violin, and it's fragmented and broken up into geometric shapes. So today we're going to be looking more at the color and the shading that he added. So take a peek at this. You can see some not super vibrant, Some of the other artists that we looked at had very bright, vibrant colors. And his color is a little bit muted, not so vibrant. There's a couple pops of color, but mostly it's got that kind of just muted grays and browns and earth tones. So it's up to you. If you want to add bright, vibrant colors, you can. If you want to keep your color in the palette of Pablo Picasso with some of those earthy tones, tans and browns and some yellows, you can do that. So for this, you need a pencil. I'm going to be also using colored pencils. If you have crayons, you can use those. You can use colored pencils. But if you just have a pencil, you can use that to create some interesting texture and to do this cross-hatching style of shading. And that's fine too. So for me, I think I'm going to start just doing some muted colors, some of those earthy tones that you can see in this example. I'll keep that around so we can see that. So you just pick a color. Because I'm going to do the earthy tones, I'm going to start with brown. And I may just find a space where I want to add a little color. I have some cross-hatching here that I did with my pencil. But maybe now I go in and add a little bit of color here. And again, if you don't have the materials to color with, just continue to add this cross-hatching to some spots. So you have some contrasting areas of lights and darks. I think it's, in Spanish, I think it's chiaro y scuro. I may be wrong. You can correct me if I'm wrong. So I started out by just adding, or claro, something like that. I'm just adding some brown here. And maybe I want to balance it out, so maybe I'll put a little bit of brown over here. So I have some brown on this side and some on this side. I'm just going to start adding some color. It enhances the image. Just gives it something a little more interesting to see. So a little brown. I sort of like that rusty orange color. I don't know if you can see it well there, but there's kind of like a rusty orangey yellow, orangey red that I like. I'm going to add a little bit of that too. So I'm just going to take my red, maybe down here. Give it a little pop of that reddish color, and I'll add some orange to make it look like that rusty reddish orange that Picasso used. Something that I notice on Picasso's too is in some areas he makes it look really dark, like a shadow. So you can do that by just pressing down a little bit harder. So if you notice, I'm pressing down a little bit harder with my pencil in some areas, maybe closer to my object. I might create a darker value of my red, and that just means a darker color, a darker shade of the red. I'm just pressing down. If I want it to look a little bit lighter, like a lighter value of red, I don't press quite as hard. Now I think I'm going to add a little bit of orange to that so I can get that kind of rusty. It's like a fall color, isn't it? Some of the leaves are changing now. And you see those beautiful reddish orange colors out there on the trees. So I'm adding a little bit of orange to that. So feel free to create tertiary colors or just, mix your primaries with your secondary colors to get some really nice pops of color. So it's up to you where you add color. I'm going to go with a little bit of yellow because I do like the palette of color that Pablo Picasso used, those earthy tones with little pops of color here and there. So I tried out using a little bit of his rusty reddish orange. Now I'm going to go for that yellow up there, just a little pop of yellow. And maybe I'll do it in the same area, top right area of mine. Maybe I'll make the bottle yellow. It's up to you. That's what makes it your art. You get to decide where you put your colors and how you want to draw your objects. So I'll do a little bit of yellow here. And if you want to give the illusion of your bottle having some form, you just want to darken a little bit on one side. So I'm just going to really press down and make it a little darker yellow here, or brighter, I guess. And that sort of gives the illusion of some form on the bottle. There. I think I'm going to add a little bit more of this rusty orangey red up here, and then I'm going to let you guys go off and add some color, whether it be vibrant and bright or muted and earthy tones. That's up to you. And remember, if you don't have anything to color with, just keep on shading in spots with your pencil, and that will give it a nice, interesting look also. And maybe I'll do some darker shading there. Of that red. I add a little bit of orange to that. So I have that rusty kind of reddish orange tertiary color, because I'm mixing red, which is a primary, with orange that is a secondary color. When you mix them together, you get a nice tertiary color. All right, well, I'm going to keep on working on mine. I'm going to continue to add colors to it. And I look forward to seeing your artwork. Most of all, have fun. Good luck.
Hi, welcome back to Language and Play. So today I want to talk to you about a really important part of theater, which is mood, okay? There are different ways where we're able to set the mood of a show. Mood is how the audience is going to feel based on either what your character is portraying or what the lights and the set are portraying. So for us, we're creating a virtual production. So one of the ways we're going to be able to address mood is through the set that you're designing. And the set that you're designing is your virtual Starry Night house on Tinkercad. So let's talk about different colors and how different colors bring out different moods. Okay? So a mood, if we want to bring out joy in somebody, am I going to use the color black or am I going to use the color yellow? That's right, we would probably use the color yellow, okay? Because black doesn't exactly make you feel warm and fuzzy inside, okay? If we wanted to make somebody, say our mood was sadness, we would use some blues and some grays, right? If our mood was anger, we'd use some deep reds. If our mood is joy and happiness, maybe we're using greens and yellows and maybe some bright, vibrant reds. Those are different ways where we're able to bring about the mood in a scene. We're going to talk about mood and tone, the other part, a little bit later, and we're actually going to play an acting game on Friday that will help us bring those things about as well. But today, when you guys are working on your Tinkercad Starry Night houses, I want you to start thinking about what is the mood of my house going to be? How am I going to design it with different colors and different features? You'll see Mr. Dowd kind of went with a little bit of a gothic mood for his, where it has the towers and the gargoyles on each corner. It's a darker design, okay? You have complete creative control, except for the fact you've already designed the person that lives in that house. When you're designing your house, you have to think about your protagonist. How does your protagonist fit with this house? Okay? I can't wait to see them. Great job, everybody. Keep on working.
It's apple crisp time. Who doesn't like a warm apple crisp? First, you need to peel the apples. I'm just showing you here how to peel them. This is probably the longest part of making apple crisp, besides the cooking. Okay. So you're gonna get 6 or 8 apples, depending on how big you want it, right? And you're gonna peel them, all the skin off. And then you're gonna cut them in like little apple wedges. So you want to get the core out, which is this part right here. Yeah. So you don't want any of the core in the piece of apple. Okay. If you get any of the core, then just cut it off because you don't need it. There's lots of different ways to make apple crisp. Some people make it with oatmeal. Some people make it with a pre-mix. There's just cinnamon and sugar. Okay. So I'm gonna take 6 apples, slice them up, and I'm gonna put them in the bottom of this pan, or this dish, before I bake it. Okay, so this was what 6 apples looks like, cut up and peeled. So this is the base of your apple crisp. Now, you can make, I was in the store and I found this, which is just the stuff that goes on top. Okay. But all it is brown sugar and regular sugar. You can mix it up yourself, or you can do it this way. So this is like an apple crisp powder mix. And see how it's served with ice cream. I'm gonna put this in a bowl. Smells good. This smells like brown sugar. And it calls for 5 tablespoons of margarine or butter. So here's my tablespoon. Now remember, you want to like, oops, sorry. 1. 2. 3. 4. And 5. 5 tablespoons of margarine. Okay, so it looks like this. And you're just going to take a fork and you're going to mash up the butter, the margarine, so it's coated with the brown sugar mix. Then you're going to take your mix. Most of it's powdery with a little bit of butter in it. And you're going to put it all over your apples. So it looks like this. There's enough margarine or butter in there to mix with the apple, the little juice, the juices from the apples, and the brown sugar mix. So now this is going to go in the oven at 375 for 25 to 30 minutes. This is what it looks like finished. So right now it's warm. You put vanilla ice cream on it and it's ready to serve. Or you can serve it cold if you prefer cold. Very easy.
Hey guys, welcome back to Virtual PE. I'm Miss Reedy.
Miss T. Mean.
Woo! My glutes are on fire after yesterday's workout, so we got a good stretch for you today. Please don't forget to make sure you're taking your 2-minute breaks. We've been watching some of those videos, and if you're not pausing in between, you guys are really struggling towards the end of your workouts. We do everything between 3 to 5 sets. All right, so keep that in mind. Definitely take that pause. If you need more than 2 minutes, by all means, take more than 2 minutes, but the goal is to complete the whole set.
Okay, and let's make sure you get those water jugs ready because we're going to start coming at you with some upper body workouts. You're going to need some weight.
Don't forget to go to Google Classroom and hit turn in for your activity when you're done. Today we're floating away in the skies. This is one of my all-time things that I want to try to do sometime before I die. And get in a hot air balloon and float around the Grand Canyon. So let's get to it, guys. All right, we're going to grab our arm and put it over our chest. I'm going to hold for 15. And then we'll switch and do the same with the other arm. Switch. Very nice.
Okay, we're going to stretch our lats and our deltoids. So we're going to stick our opposite hand out, opposite leg, and just reach and hold for 15. Switch. Right hand out, left leg back. Hold for 15 seconds. Very good.
All right, we're going to put our arm on our back, and we're going to pull our elbow, each one 15 seconds. Switch. Very good. Relax.
Okay, now we're going to go to our Spider-Man stretch. So I'm going to bring our right knee in, getting like up a high plank, and this is an upper body and a lower body stretch, 15 seconds. And switch. Release.
All right, we're going to do a lower body, and I'm just going to kind of, for 30 seconds, reach as far as you can, stretching it. I'm going to move about every 7 seconds-ish. Very good.
Okay, let's mix in some legs. So let's get a nice quad stretch. Left leg back. You will also be stretching your right hamstring. We're going to have a slight lean. Keep that right leg flat on the ground. Hold for 15 seconds. And switch. Left leg nice and flat. Right leg back. Slight lean. Keep that left leg flat. And release.
All right, we're gonna do the butterfly stretch. Stretch your groin on the inside. Okay, feet together. You're gonna grab your ankles or higher up on your shin. Push down with your elbows. Please don't flap. Sorry, we're holding this for 30. As you go, you can try to go a little bit farther. Very good, relax.
Okay, I'm gonna move to my side. This is a figure 4 stretch. Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna lay on your back. Let's get your left foot up on your right knee. Just bring it up nice and high and kind of rotate it to the ground. Go as far as you can and hold. Okay, now we're gonna switch. Right foot up, rotate it, get that nice stretch in your lower back and your glutes. And release.
All right, we're gonna do a hamstring. We're gonna keep our legs straight. Don't bend your knee, and you're gonna try to touch your toe if you can. If you can't, just grab your shoelace or grab your ankle, whatever you can, however far you can go. Do each leg for 15 seconds. Switch. Same thing, keep your knees straight or your legs straight. Very nice, relax.
Okay, let's get those hips and lower back. Keep that left leg flat. Right foot over, bring your elbow across, and hold. Switch. Right leg flat, left leg over, elbow across, and hold. And release.
Yeah, this is another version of kind of like the butterfly. You put your elbows on the inside of your thighs, and you're gonna again push out, and you're gonna lean forward. And put all your weight basically into your elbows for 30 seconds. And relax.
Let's continue on with the Achilles, the hamstrings, the calves. Left foot, put your left foot on top of your right foot. Try and reach as far as you can. Don't go too far. Once you feel that stretch, you want to hold it there. And switch. Right foot on top. Reach, get a nice good stretch. And release.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of Enrichment TV, Gators. Remember, work hard, be nice, and we'll see you tomorrow.